What the fuck? No, you push me for no fucking. What the fuck? Come. You fuck off. No, you can't do that. You fuck off. No, it's a free country, you know? It's fine. Don't take the constitution. Motherfucker. Piece of shit. Fuck off. Get out of here. Piece of shit. Racist sick. What kind of game? Calvi, Look at Fort It's He plays soccer tomorrow with Mexico. You're right, man. Yeah, this is not right. It's a football game, sir.
This event happened in Dallas, Texas, as fans of the beautiful game were heading to Mexico to watch the Iraqi soccer team take on Bolivia in one of a pair of FIFA Intercontinental playoff spots. It is a microcosm surrounding this year's World Cup, specifically in the United States of America, leaving one outlet to even posit, will the world want to come?
I hope you're so fucking proud of yourselves, you fucking assholes. You're on video now, too. Yeah. Shame on you. You fucking un-American pieces of shit.
Hey! What the fuck? Get the fuck back! What the fuck? Hey!
As many Americans know, ICE's budget has ballooned since Republican President Donald Trump took office for a second time. They still have about $150 billion from his One Big Beautiful Bill Act. In turn, all of that manifests to this.
The Trump administration has deported more Venezuelan migrants to El Salvador. The Trump administration has resumed deporting Venezuelan migrants to El Salvador, claiming they're gang members. NPR's Adrian Florido reports there are legal challenges asking how the Trump administration identifies the deportees as gang members.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the government sent 17 violent criminals to El Salvador. He claimed they're members of the Tren de Aragua and MS-13 gangs. El Salvador's president posted videos of the men being unloaded from a plane and locked up in a prison. Earlier this month, President Trump sent more than 130 alleged Venezuelan gang members to El Salvador, arguing that an 18th century wartime law gave him authority to summarily deport them without hearings. Some of their families have denied they're in gangs. A federal judge temporarily blocked more deportations under that law.
Sending migrants without due process to foreign gulags like CCOT in El Salvador, or
libertad condicional y esperar nuestro proceso afuera. Somos tratadas como criminales y somos acá madres que nuestras familias nos necesitan. Mis compañeras van a mostrarles algunas de las condiciones en las que hemos estado viviendo desde hace meses. El cepillo de lavarnos la boca, las pantaletas usadas y rotas, las chelas que nos dan, las camisas que son de hombre, los paños, el uniforme.
Enguatadas, sucias y viejas, uniformes que no cierran.
Las camas. Queremos justicia. Libertad. Queremos libertad.
Conditions such as these, which sadly could lead to this.
This mom of 8 was deported one day after accusing an ICE agent of sexual harassment. Sylvia Reyna Mendoza has emergency protected status in the U.S. after fleeing Mexico 40 years ago as a teenager to escape domestic violence. Now, according to Mendoza, an ICE contractor was harassing her with frequent calls, texts, and unwelcome sexually explicit images, including nudes and videos of him masturbating. The contractor also tried to solicit sexual favors from Reyna Mendoza, saying things like, "If you're good to me, I'll be good to you." The man in question was from BI Inc., an ICE contractor contractor that was monitoring and overseeing Reina Mendoza's open immigration case. When Mendoza tried to report the contractor, there was no follow-up, and the family said that there were attempts to delete evidence of her claims. This led Mendoza to seek a civil lawsuit against the company. But BI Inc. is a subsidiary of Geo Group, an enormous private prison that donated heavily to Trump's campaign and has since benefited enormously from his ICE raids. Mendoza's family claims that her deportation was direct retaliation for reporting the agent and is suing the company. Since the incident, ICE and BI Inc. have released statements saying that they have zero tolerance for sexual abuse or assault, but their track record shows a very different story. Since Trump and Homan's mass immigration raids have given ICE unprecedented power, numerous cases of sexual assault and harassment have been reported. In June, an investigation from Senator John Ossoff found at least 41 credible cases of physical and sexual assault of people in ICE detention.
And even this.
Mark Brummer, Esquire. He's a civil rights attorney to please.
Newly obtained documents by CGTN appear to confirm that Marie-Ange Blaise, a 44-year-old Haitian woman who died at a Florida immigration detention center in April, had legal status in the U.S., including valid U.S. work authorization.
Look, they have given us, and everybody visiting, fair warning.
And I will say, before I turn it over to the next speaker, that, of course, everybody is welcome to come and see this incredible event. I know we'll have visitors probably from close to 100 countries. We want them to come. We want them to celebrate. We want them to watch the game. But when the time is up, they'll have to go home.
And if one were to be so blissfully ignorant and ponder, well, FIFA has to care about this, right? No.
And this is the official ball.
Thank you very
with
much.
your name.
Thank you. Ooh, that's nice. I would give it to Christy, except it has my name on it. So
We have another one for you. Of course, of course.
That's beautiful. Thank you very much. Is that going to be the ball?
That's the official match ball.
This will be what it will look like, the ball?
Yes.
When they play?
When they play.
Wow, that's great.
That's Gianni Infantino, the head of FIFA. He has met with Trump countless times, attended rallies, was there for the inauguration, and much more. To give one an idea of how bad it is, Infantino put up a post after the U.S. struck Iran, which read, in part, he had discussions with President Trump. He reiterated, the president did, that the Iranian team is welcome to compete in the U.S. And he would say, we all need an event like the FIFA World Cup to bring people together now more than ever. I thank POTUS for his support. It shows once again that football unites the world. Just 48 hours later,
President Trump is today warning Iran's men's soccer team that they may want to stay away from the World Cup for their own, quote, life and safety. Iran's national team is scheduled to play 3 matches here in the U.S. during the 2026 World Cup, which the president says they are welcome to come to, while also adding that he doesn't really, quote, believe it is appropriate that they be here. This is uncharted territory for just about everybody involved, with a country potentially pulling out of a tournament co-hosted by one of the countries that launched strikes against it.
But don't worry. The head of the World Cup task force is going to quell all of this. And you might be thinking, who is that exactly?
What makes you qualified for this?
Sure. Well, I am the only candidate that spent parts of 5 different decades of my life in politics or public service.
To be clear, Andrew Giuliani is not promising to make math great again.
How do you get 5 decades?
How do you think it's going to go over with New York?
Parts of 5 decades. Let me clarify. I said parts of 5 decades in there. So if we go back through it, my father's first campaign was 1989, so we could do the math. I spent parts of 32 years in politics.
Because, reminder, he's 35. So by osmosis, it appears he's saying that he absorbed his father's 5 decades of professional work, even though he personally wasn't alive for all of those decades.
Rudy Giuliani's son, Andrew Giuliani, the failed mayoral candidate of New York City. For what it's worth, the last time a team withdrew was 1950. Per The Athletic, the reason most happened to miss the World Cup was because of costs. This is obviously very, very different. Don't forget this as well, okay? With coming to this country for the tournament, journalists Dave Zirin and political scientist Jules Boykoff, former soccer player, wrote for The Nation, the price for wanting to visit the country has meant having your electronics searched, your politics interrogated, or getting strip searched and left naked in a back room at Logan Airport. They continue. Will an interrogation land them in a holding cell in a remote Louisiana facility? What about the thousands of expected visitors from South America, which will likely include young men who haven't and have tattoos? Will they find themselves lost in a system that eventually needs them, or rather sends them to an El Salvadoran slave labor camp? It's not just Zirin and co. ringing the alarm with this. Amnesty International, which since 1961 has fought to protect human rights as the world's largest grassroots human rights organization, well, they published a report that said the U.S. is facing a human rights emergency, while risks in co-host Mexico and Canada were also discussed. It is the U.S., they write, which is hosting 78 of the tournament's 104 games, which draws the greatest concern from the report, which highlights discriminatory immigration policies and mass detentions and arbitrary arrests by masked armed agents from ICE and CBP, along with other agencies. Lest we forget, the Trump administration enacted a travel ban that fully or partially bars citizens from 19 countries entering the United States. Some of those countries qualified for the World Cup. So let's get into this. Haiti being one, Iran being another, the Ivory Coast and Senegal. They are not going to have fans from their countries in attendance because of this admin. In turn, writes CFR.org, many other qualified countries are on the Trump admin's visa pause list, including Ghana, Jordan, Egypt, Uruguay, Uzbekistan, and Morocco, which only applies to immigration visas. Couple all of that with Stephen Miller and co. forcing fans from those countries to deposit up to $15,000 in bond payments to be granted a tourist visa to enter the U.S. It's just a recipe for disaster. And by the way, it is also applying to players. It is applying to coaches. It is applying to team staff members. It is applying to some who might be with the advertisers for the tournament. And this isn't just a one-time payment for a family, let's say. No. It is per person. So if there were to be a father who's competing, their significant other, and a child, that's $15,000 each for all of them to come. This is a humongous story that seems to just be completely lost in the weeds. Amnesty would continue. Other fans face intrusive surveillance with proposals to force visitors to make their social media accounts available for vetting and screening for anti-Americanism. What the fuck does that even mean? Anti-Americanism? Does it mean anti-Trumpism? Does it mean, hey, I know I'm from XYZ country, but please do not vote for Donald Trump? Is that labeled anti-Americanism? This is where you are seeing the overreach by using sport as a political tool. And we already know that ICE is going to be there because the acting director, Todd Lyons, said so for security purposes. From Steve Cockburn of Amnesty, the U.S. government has deported more than 500,000 people from the country in 2025, nearly 8 times as many people as will watch the World Cup final in the MetLife Stadium. If anybody is watching this who is abroad, first off, thank you for your support. Secondly, I am just giving you the warning one more time, okay? We have seen what this administration is doing to anybody, whether inside the country, like Alex Preddy and Renee Nicole Good, or outside of. How they are being held, how they are being strip searched, how they are being detained, how there are human rights abuses going on at name your local detention center. And they are building and buying up more warehouses to store more people. And they're going to use this tournament to build up the prison industrial complex that are largely run by 2 mega corporations, CoreCivic and Geo Group. Donald Trump is doing their bidding and using sport to execute the game plan. I'm telling you right now, if you are from some of these countries or even outside of the country, do not come. It is not a good idea.